Hello, hello, hello. Let's see if this is working. Testing, testing, one, two, three. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see if the... Yeah, it is working. However, I just need to change my things over. Where is my... There it is. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, that's perfect. Alright, cool. Um, I want to... Well, I'm making a game, and I need to have a climbing system in it. So I want this character to be able to, reach out for positioned things, and the hand should, or at least the hand and body should kind of go to that position and then, retract from that position back to the starting position. I've done this, but it's a little flaky how I originally went about doing it. So I'm deciding to start from scratch because the system got a little complex, and now when I look back through it, there's um there's some stuff to save, but perhaps it's not the best way around the problem. So I'm just trying to do that. And furthermore, I'd like to sort of compartmentalize this into its own individual system. Now, whether that be a plugin or whether that be a component, I'm unsure at the moment. So I'm going to figure out in these sessions, or this session. We'll see how long it takes. I suspect it will take quite a while. But here we go. I'm just going to create my climbing system here. I don't know how interesting I'll be throughout this whole process, but I'll try and make chapters to help, and if you are watching. Let me see if this is coming through okay as well. Bear with me. Yeah, that's clear enough, I think. Cool. So to press create, it's taken its time. Not sure why it's taking its time. I hope it's not crashing. Let's see. Oh no, here we go. Starting to do it now. The installed version of NVIDIA graphics has known issues. Please install the latest. Okay. I'll do that later. So once this is loaded the editor, I need to just find out what I'm actually creating. Is it going to be a component or is it going to be a plugin? And I have done those before, though I have to say I can't really remember much about them. So we'll go and figure those things out as well. So here we are in our new project. Let me just press play, see what happens. Oh, we're just floating around. Okay, cool. Right. Um, well, actually, first things first, let's just create a character. So here's my little tip. Always create the folder inside here, because if you start using marketplace items, they fill the namespace of that content folder up very quickly, and you're like, which one's mine again? I'm sure there's a better way, but that's how I deal with this. And I'm going to create a new folder called Blueprints. Um, this will be a C++ session, by the way, though obviously some parts um, are Blueprint, uh, like the character class, for example. And I wonder if I can just let me just think about this. So let's get whiteboard up. It's always a good place to start. So I need a character that is pointing this way and can climb up points like this. But I also need a character, God, also need a character that can be looking this way, this way. Well, okay, yes, this way, and you know, they've got like an entry point and then maybe some things here. Let's just make that a black. So these are the two. Well, you know, actually, this is a little confusing as well. If I move that over here and delete, whoops, delete this. It's actually going to be more like this, so that the character will still be looking this way, but they'll be able to enter and then kind of navigate across these things, right? And then of course this one, if they're just going upwards, then they need to be able to kind of, well, let's move this down a bit, kind of get a hold of this one and then just climb up in some linear fashion. Although this is linear as well, you know what I mean. So those are the two approaches, and so what I need to do is have a character that's facing, uh, you know, that can go left and right, and how about this as well? Let me see if I can figure out how to move this. There you go. How about this as well? So maybe there's a wall in the game, and the wall kind of looks like that, and so you have these holding points, and so the character can go between these, obviously, but then be able to look around the corner and kind of go around the corner, and then continue. So it needs to be based off. So I guess what I'm figuring out here is that it needs to be based off the character's forward vector. So let's imagine this is the character. Let's put him as a box or her as a box, whatever. And then if they're looking that way, then the coordinate system that I care about is local to this character, right? So horizontal will always be y-axis, that's correct. And then the forward vector will be x and the up will be z. So this will be z-axis. And I suppose, well, actually that's not quite true, because what if the wall, okay, so let's go to another one. What if the wall looks like this? No, it is still well, it is kind of the same. I think maybe let's see. So we've got a rock here and a rock here, and then they're going to go around the side here and then go up, and then maybe like this sort of thing. And so the character is still, it's still relative to the character. However, this section here, it needs to know that the climbing hold is at least close enough to connect the player, um, and it also needs to know that there is this corner here, so maybe a different animation. Well, no, that's so maybe actually the climbing hold just needs to be on the corner, and so when it's on the corner, maybe corner stuff can have a specific, you know, very specific like holding position, and then they can carry on the rest. In fact, maybe let's just watch a video of someone going around a corner, climbing on rock face around a corner, and see what happens. So that one seems more obvious to me. Um, let's see. Because I wonder if they reach round. They probably don't. this, no, nothing here. Um, that's a bit annoying. Maybe it's going to be a bit difficult to find one. What about this? No. See, but you could imagine the person going around the rock face, they would have to kind of take some grip on the side. I mean, albeit like very, it could be just slightly on the side, and they've got enough. But there's going to be this transition between um, this kind of thing. So if the person's reaching here, then they've got to kind of stretch their leg round. Um, but in a game, is that really required? That kind of. So I think just one position, maybe the kind of character holds like this. That's the character, obviously. And I'm not very good at drawing, obviously, but something like that, and then they can continue round the side. So I think let's think about this again. So I think we need an entry point. No, do we need an entry point to a system? I don't think we do. We need a climbing hold actor. Um, I need some way for this to detect close by climbing actors. I need to record the distance. Well, let's do D. Distance between this at any given point. I need a corner actor. So one that, well, maybe it should be a tick box on this. So this is a checkbox, right? And you tick it when it's a corner position. And what else? Well, how about determining whether something is a jump off point or a sequence driven point? Like if you want to play a sequence, no, well, let's imagine so I've got my game in mind, so I'm trying to figure out that, but also try and generalize as much as possible. I know that there's a place where I want my character to be able to kind of, at a very specific point, jump off. So I think a jump off point should be available, but maybe this should be a way to customize it so you can extend the class to say, oh, well, I've got this and I've got that. And so I should make this maybe abstract. So I think that might be a good idea because I can implement. Well, no, it doesn't even have to. Well, does it have to be abstract? Let's see. If it weren't abstract, then they have no control over overriding some of those methods. Um, no, that's not right. Let me just think about this. Because we could define some points that they have to implement. But what would those be? I think maybe it just has to be a class and you can inherit from that class. and then you could add new methods to it to do extra things, and make calls to the internal class methods to add more functionality. And maybe a jump off point is one of those kind of examples that I could have, whereas a corner position is fundamental to climbing. Yeah, okay. And then we need the ability to enter a point. So as the character gets close to one of these, because the character is going this way, or that way, of course, then if you're walking past and you press a specific key, maybe E for enter or I for interact or whatever, I don't care, then that's where you join yourself. And so the character has to then know to turn around to this vector, so the one pointing out, so the climbing holds forward vector, and then it too needs a distance, so we'll call this uh, start vector, or grab vector, right? And that vector, well, the magnitude of that will be, or the length of it will be, um, something that can be a constant. Like, I want the character to only be able to grab things at a certain distance away from it. Um, this should be, I think, a constant as well. Yeah, and just thinking about kind of debugging, because I had this before. I think drawing lines between um, holds that you can attach to is going to be helpful as well. So I think I know where I'm going to start. I'm going to get this character going left and right, and then um, and have an interaction key. And none of that's important to this. Well, let's just start with that. So that's not going to be part of the system, you see. So I don't think I care too much about it. Um, cool, right. Um, I think what we'll do is we'll create a character then. How do you do that again in this one? Tools, new C++ class. It's going to be a character. We'll call it. Let's call it climbing character just in case. Um, and let's put this in. Let's go over here a second. Here we go. Source. And then we'll call this characters. Climbing character. Create class. What's this about? Quick restart disabled when building 6, compile 1, compile climbing character.cpp, fatal error cannot what? Cannot open include file, climbing character.h, no such file or directory. It's interesting. Not sure I understand that. Let me just build this again. Why has it done that for me then? if I do that, are you going to be happier? Error. Failed. Was that does seem to be happier. What is the fail now? Unable to build. Um, member function declared, but these are warnings. Don't care. Unable to build while live coding is active. Oh, I see. I should have while live coding is active. So let's do it from here then. Maybe that's cool. Okay, right. Right. Now we have the character. We also need a controller. So let's go and do that. Tool, new C++ class. Oh, player controller. Climbing player controller. Did we call this climbing character? Yeah. Okay, and that will go into controllers. Oh, that's interesting though, because it's not separated these out, which is interesting. Whereas this one has. Let's see what this does. I may need to do this again. I haven't started a new project in Unreal Engine 5 ever, so let's see how this all works. No, so that's what I was expecting, and that's probably why that thing wasn't working. So maybe I can just delete these, just do it again. Character. I wonder what happened before. That was very strange. Tools, new C++, character, next, climbing character. You know what? I think I might need to close this down, rebuild this. Right, let's start this again. So I'll just install that update as well. I don't think I should do it whilst I'm streaming though, because it'll break my stream, right? Cool, let's try this again. And is live coding? Yep, cool. Tools, new C++, controller, where are you? No, character. Climbing character. Oh, that's so annoying. Name climbing character is already used by another class. Oh yeah, because see, this is a problem with these things, eh? Uh, I need to actually delete the files like so. And I suppose that this is also wrong. That's better. That's better. I see. It's because I didn't have these public and private folders in the first place. Okay, so understand that. You need these first. Got it. Right. Just gonna... Yeah, okay, cool. Let's minimize this. Let's compile this again. And I think we're ready to go. Okay. Climbing. Well, now that can't be right. And that's still this live coding. I guess I have to, can I refresh? Oh dear, that's not very good, is it? That's not very good at all. Guess it's got some cache in it. Let's try this one more time. Bit of a pain in the arse, that. That is a pain. Okay, let's try try last time. Character. Climbing character. Public. I have selected that. I wonder, let's see, can I do that? Nope. Let's hope that this does it. I don't know how this works now, honestly. How did you lay this out? Oh, good. Thank goodness for that. Right. Interesting stuff. I didn't know that they changed all that. Maybe they haven't, actually. Right, cool. Um, so, yeah, we need this to be controlled by the controller. I think that's done in world settings. So if I go to... Ah, we need a game mode as well. Let's do that. Game mode, where are you? There you are. Climbing, well, let's call this platformer. It's essentially a 2.5D platformer. Um, so let's do that, public, and this is going to be game modes. Create without that. Ah, no, hang on. There is already a game mode in here, I think. Game mode base, yeah. Well, yeah, it's not not really that well named anyway, so reload all. Here we go. Right, now we're getting somewhere. Let's go back to Unreal Engine. So our world setting is going to want that platformer. But I think what we should probably do is make a blueprint of that. So let's now get going with these. We're going to go for our platformer. Spell this right. BP platformer game mode. Maybe we should put this in a folder as well called game modes. Yes. And then a new folder called characters. And this is going to be the climbing character. Cool. And then we're going to need one more, which is going to be, whoops, not in there. This is going to be characters in other game modes, and then controllers. Climbing player controller. Climbing player controller. And I've made them as blueprints just so I can get a bit of control over them from a visual perspective. So let's go and do this now. So it's a platformer, the blueprint version. And then I'm going to override these. Default pawn class will be the climbing character, and the controller class will be the climbing player controller. All good so far. Right, now let's make a map. Levels, and we'll just save current level as main. Let's do that. Or climbing demo. And oh, this is new. Level of detail, instancing. World partition minimap. We don't need this stuff. Volumetric cloud, nope. Sky sphere, yep. Skylight, yep, yep. Don't need that. Weird, I just deleted that. Why is it not happening? Edit. I can't delete it. That's because it's some cache, I guess. Well, how do I turn that off? How is this? Well, okay, let's just go for a new level. Basic, empty level. Basic, that sounds good. Okay, don't save. Let's delete this. I think, yeah, I think this is that world partitioning system is creating some cache of its partitioning, which I don't want. So let's now save this, and I have to populate these again. 1 second. That's going to be platformer, and then climbing. Yep, great. Ah, it's already got it there. Yep. Now we can save this. Save current level as climbing demo. Yeah, that's better. Okie dokie. Right, and then I guess we want some kind of wall. So let's do that. Let's go for a cube. Drop one in. Let's center it in the middle of the map. And I guess we'll give it a little bit of stretch. I wonder if you can do that. Do you have an X, Y, and Z value? No. So I just have to scale it instead. Okay, fair enough. That's not a problem. Cool. Now I think what I'll do is I'll then move that back and we'll put our character in. So go here, put our character in. We'll put that to 0 instead. And then maybe just like that. And then this needs to be set as the... So I've gone to my character, and I think on the initialization of this I need to say play what's the thing? I need to make sure it takes control of this character, so it's called player or something. Auto possess player. Because if I were to set this to 0, you see, then I'm playing it. So I need that to be set. So let's do that. Auto possess player. And what does it say here? Call of an object of a class type without appropriate operator. So this I guess is a yes. This isn't a function. So maybe there's a set somewhere. Set auto possess. Well, maybe I just do that. Yeah, okay, cool. And let's put a little note here. Well, what does this say? That's great. Create a camera boon. Oh, interesting. Oh, is this because I've got... Do I have a Copilot on? So if you're not getting this, that's why I've got a GitHub Copilot. Forgot I've got that. I use it all the time, but I've never used it for C++. This is interesting to me. Let's say um, take control of the default player. Perfect. Okay. So now if we compile that, we should see this kind of have a complaint. Interesting. Maybe you have to go to the blueprint to go see that complaint. Auto possess player, and says it's disabled still. So determines which player controller, if any, should automatically possess the pawn when the level starts. Now I thought I just done that, so I wonder. Let's look at this history here of I think it was here. Now it said building one compiled climbing characters. That's definitely the character that I just did this for. So why is that not coming through? Well, I guess that this is not applicable inside the construction of the character. Let's go and debug this though, because I'm very interested to see. Let's see, start debugging, attach to process. Let's go Unreal. Oh, this is a new thing as well. A hub for UEFI runtime traces and tools like Unreal Insights. Interesting. I think I just want to attach to the editor for now. Ah, you see, so this is not the right DLL that we're attached to. So that's probably why that's not working. Let's detach that. And let's see if we attach the other one. I wonder what that actually is then. Maybe this is a new way of doing it. Oh, no, it's not. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So why is that not built? I wonder if it's unable to. Let's read this carefully. Now it says it's fine. Target is up to date. Uh, the intermediate folder was modified. Building patch from one file for live coding module. So it's patched the DLL. That sounds good to me. And I think we should be good to go. So why did they not do that first time? Let's see if that's now. Let's go back to this and attach to the editor. How are we looking now? We're still not looking at the right DLL, apparently. Now I wonder what happens if I'm attached and then do it. Oh dear, that's not cool at all. So let me get this straight. If I then detach this and then build from here, it should say it's live coding, right? So unable to build while live coding is active. Exit the editor in game, or press Ctrl Alt F11 if iterating on code in the editor or game. Ctrl Alt F11. Right, well, it's already up to date, so it definitely figured that I've done something. So why is this not working? Attach to process. Oh, I'm very surprised. What is this one? Well, this is the Win64 version of this, so you should think it would pick that up. I mean, it's not picking up anything else. How strange. Maybe I'm missing something here. Let's go to the internet and just how to debug um, after how to debug Unreal Engine. I don't know. I don't know. Here we go. Debug your app. Open Visual Studio. Set a startup project. Yeah. No, this is not relevant. Let's see. That's strange. I've got an idea. What I'm going to do is close this down like this. I'm going to then build it from here, and I'm just going to start it without debugging, you see. So maybe then it's hooked to the correct DLL. I don't know why that wasn't working. I'm sure we'd figure it out if we looked properly, but can't be bothered to do that right now. Okay. Oh, and one more thing. Let's go to the project settings. How do we go there? There it is, project settings. And I'll just set the default map. Editor startup map, and we'll just set that to climbing demo. And game default map, let's do that as well. Okay. So we'd have to keep changing levels at the beginning. So there we go. Cool. Now let's hope this time, if I go now attach to the process, is that gonna play ball? No, it's not. Well, that is bonkers. What on earth? Settings. What have we got? Enable live coding. Start automatically but hide console until summoned. Enable reinstancing. Compile newly added C++ classes. Well, how am I supposed to debug this then? Debug. What about here? Can I do it from here? This is all changed. And what process is this? I swear I'm in the right process. Live coding console. That's just that. So if I go on... Oh, no, it's not. It's something. So let's try that instead. Live coding console. If I stop debugging, attach to process, live coding console. I wonder. So I reckon that's just that thing that pops up. We'll see anyway. Yeah, it wasn't that. Unless, so here's a thought. Maybe I just need to, maybe at some point during playing the game for the first time, it builds up that kind of thing. So let's do that. No. Oh, I'm clutching at straws now. That's weird. Okay, well let's abandon this for a second. Let's just go. Let's go. Try and get away from this problem so far, and just run it from here. So this is now actually debugging, and it's definitely running this code. So you'd hope that it would be. Yeah, here we go. And it's optimized as well. That's why the breakpoint's down here, which is fine. So now if I go to my climbing character, oop, wrong one. If I go back to the blueprints, characters, climbing character, we should hopefully see that the auto possessed player is now set to 0. Oh, that was such a strange series of events. And sure enough, there it is. So now I need to add. So where can I detach now? Detach all. Yeah, okay, well that seems to work then. We know that for next time. So we also need to now register some click events. So let's go to this, Control KO to go to the header. Let's have some public on this. And I want to have to override the setup component, I think, setup input. Setup input. What's code? Copilot tell me. Setup input. Ah, boring, nothing. Input component. Let's see what's down here. Here we go. Setup inactive state. No, not that one. Pop input component. No. Setup input allows the player controller to set up custom input bindings. So let's go and override that. It's returning void. Now I wonder. Let's see if I can do that from here. So if I go right click and I go, let's see, quick actions, implement pure virtuals. Nope. I don't want to implement pure virtuals. I want to instead implement virtuals. So it doesn't have the option in Visual Studio. Oh, that's unfortunate. So we have to do this ourselves. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? And can we do peak definition? Let's go do that then, so we kind of got it next to us. Okay, good. Let's put this down a bit, and then let's let this come down like that. Okay, cool. Right, this is the one we want. So let's copy that, put that there. And this is not public, it's actually unprotected. So let's do that instead, protected. And then we're going to override this. And let's just do it in here. Oh look, that's wonderful. That's flipping wonderful. Let's just do that then. Thanks, Copilot. I appreciate it. And these are methods that I need to do. So we want to be able to move horizontally, I think. Move horizontal, and then move vertical. Let's copy that. Let's copy that. And then I think interact is another one I want. And then we'll delete those ones. That was awesome. Let's see what it comes up now. So there you go. It starts to implement them for me. And I think these will need to be, well, do they need to be public? No, I doubt actually. Let's see what Copilot says here. There you go. That'll do. And what's the last one? Interact. What you got? What you got? What you got? Maybe you could do it a bit faster than it. Interact. Okay. Delete these. Cool. Right. I think these need to be these U functions. Let's see if we get one of those out. It's going to be blueprint. Well, let's give it a category. We'll just call this custom. I always just do this. I think it's relatively helpful. And I wonder what the bind axis function actually provides it. I'm guessing an axis value. Let's go look through it though. So here we are, F12, and we'll get this up. And then this is in the input component.h, and this is for a typed version of it. Now let's just go through here. Axis name, axis binding is last, indicates that the input component is interested in knowing the axis value via getAxisValue, but does not want a delegate function called each frame. Returned reference is only guaranteed to be valid until another axis is bound. Now, I don't think that's correct, what I want here. Let's see, that is a good, let's try input component, let's see what this has got. Because bind axis is, well, you know what, maybe that's wrong. Let's go look at this documentation. So input component for Unreal Engine. Bind axis is that, this, and that. That looks good. And then what do the actual implementing methods look like, eh? So jump, move forward, let's see. That wasn't very helpful, was it? An input component is a transient collection of access bindings. Yeah, I think that's probably it, right? Oh. But here we go. F input access binding. Access delegate, the access mapping being bound to the value of the access as calculated during the most recent process input stick. Access name. Oh, it's hard to tell what it's calling. How does this work? It's going to be calling that. So that's the third parameter. So this has only got one parameter, so it can't be that. Here it is. Here it is. So we've got our function. And bind delegate is going to pass in that. So if we go to, let's see, it's got 2, so 1, 2, that's fine. Function name, bind you function. Where are you? Bind you function. Here it is. Usable for function name. Oh gosh, this gets complex very quickly, doesn't it? There must be some documentation for this. Let's try a bit harder. Bind axis. Sure. Or bind axis. Bind axis, here we go. No, because it's not. So what does F input access binding? Bear with me. This is very strange. I don't understand. Okay, right. Let's got a little bit sidetracked there. Let's go back to this. Let's close all this down. So fine. Yep. Let's go back to solution. Let's go back to this. And we weren't here. We're trying to do this in the controller. Let me just see what this message was. And we have a visitor coming, so see how that progresses. Okay, so yeah, bind axis, that looks good, but bind axis must pass in some values to that function. So this must be the case. But it's user class object method pointer user class input axis handler signature. Ha ha ha. Here we go. Ah yes, here we go. We found it. Whew, that was a bit weird. Right. Float axis value, that's what we've got. So let's go back to this. Yeah, and so these will take a float axis value. And now this interaction is going to be a bind action. So this will be slightly different. Let's go to this one, which takes, well, maybe takes 3. Let's see. Let's do this and see what Copilot tells me. How are you going to help? Please wait for an editor command to finish. Exceeded execution timer attempting to auto cancel. Great. Oh. Well, I tell you what, this is going well. What I'm going to do, as I've got some visitors coming, so I'm going to stop it here, and I will definitely resume later, because this is my absolute goal for today and maybe tomorrow if it spreads on there. My apologies for the interruption, but clearly Visual Studio is not having a good time. So ciao for now, and I'll see you later.